An Olathe mother and father fighting back after their daughter's fourth-grade teacher admitted he took what they say are inappropriate pictures and videos of the young girl.
But depending on what happens in court tomorrow, that teacher might not see any time behind bars because of the way a Kansas stalking statute is written. A quick note, we're not naming the girl due to her age and the accusations involved. Here's the I-Team's Caitlin Canute.
The Antonucci's say their eldest daughter, just 10 years old, has dreams of one day becoming a professional dancer. But rather than focusing on those dreams, her family found themselves facing a nightmare, one that took center stage in the classroom.
You know, months later, it's still hard for me to leave her alone and to not be with her or our other kids at all times.
It all came to a head last spring when Kristen Antonucci picked her children up from Meadow Lane Elementary School in Olathe. It was as her fourth grader got into the car, she immediately knew something was wrong.
And I said, "What happened? Did something happen at school?" And she said that something had, and she did not want to talk about it in front of her little sister and little brother.
Once the family arrived home, her daughter shared something that caught Kristen off guard. The young girl said she'd been approached by her friends with some troubling claims about her teacher, James Loganville.
They had been seeing their fourth grade teacher taking inappropriate pictures of her backside anytime she wasn't looking, anytime she tied her shoe, anytime she grabbed something out of her desk, and they had been noticing that behavior for months.
Her classmates said they'd told the principal, but those concerns hadn't been passed on to the parents. Her mother called her husband, who jumped to action.
I just left my office. I worked down the street and just showed up at the school to figure out exactly what was going on. And as soon as I hit that parking lot, I was met by the principal.
That's when he says the school confirmed they were indeed investigating reports that Loganville had been taking inappropriate pictures of their daughter.
We were just both bawling, and we're like, how can this be? How can somebody see her like this? She's a kid. She looks like a kid.
Soon, though, the sadness turned to anger as the parents realized the girls allegedly reported the behavior 2 days before the parents were told. A 2-day period in which Loganville reportedly remained in class.
Both of us having HR backgrounds, I think that was one of the most alarming things, because in HR world, even with an adult harassment type situation, that person is immediately taken out of the office while an investigation happens. So to hear that for almost 2 full days she had been left in class with him and without our knowledge, it was very shocking.
We reached out to the school to ask about the timing of when the parents were notified and why Loganville was allowed to stay in the classroom those 2 days, but the school and the school district declined comment, citing the ongoing investigation and pending litigation. However, we do know Loganville retired and his teaching license was later revoked by the state of Kansas. But much to the family's disgust, he was still included in their daughter's yearbook, a painful reminder of details that would prove to be even harder for the Antonucci's to stomach.
There was just a flood of emotions, and it might even sound weird, but I couldn't even sometimes comprehend who I was more upset with, whether it was Loganville or the school district.
An affidavit filed in Johnson County shows the school did conduct an investigation in which Loganville admitted, quote, he did have an attraction to the girl, and it happened when she wore black leggings or dancing pants. He admitted to searching for her dance competitions and videos online and watching those. When the school turned the investigation over to Olathe police, Loganville again admitted, quote, he took pictures and videos of her and the photos and videos were of her backside, adding, quote, he found her sexually attractive and would not have taken the pictures otherwise. Ultimately, he told police what he did was, quote, dumb, just dumb. Upon examining his phone and tablet, the report shows detectives located 210 pictures focused on the girl and 31 videos. In one of those, detectives noted, quote, he had her pose by lifting her leg up to her head while wearing black tights. As a result, Steve Howe, the Johnson County District Attorney, charged Loganville with reckless stalking, a Class 1 misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in prison. Because Loganville was in a position of power over his alleged victim, Howe is pushing to upgrade those charges to a felony.
We started to realize that there were serious holes in the Kansas statutes that needed to be addressed. It's clearly alarming. Every mother and father has a right to be just deeply concerned by that type of conduct.
However, Loganville's defense attorney, Carl Cornwell, argues that while Loganville's actions were wrong, they were not illegal due to the way the stalking statute is written.
Once you're in public, You're open to public view, public scrutiny, and so you can take a picture of somebody. She didn't know it. She wasn't placed in fear.
In his motion to dismiss, Cornwell points to the wording of the stalking statute. He notes it's legally defined as, quote, recklessly engaging in a course of conduct targeted at a specific person, which would cause a reasonable person to fear for such person's safety, and the targeted person is actually placed in such fear. But he contends this doesn't apply to his client because the girl did not know she was being stalked and, quote, therefore could not have been placed in fear. It's something the prosecution is pushing back on.
I disagree with the defense's position on this. I think you can be unaware of that and still be a victim of stalking.
As for Loganville, his attorney says his client is remorseful for what he's done.
He feels so sorry for his family. He feels so sorry for this young girl. He said, oh my gosh, I didn't mean for her to know. I didn't want her to know. And now look what I've done.
The Antonucci's tell me they're not buying it, adding this wasn't a one-off. Still to come, we'll hear from other former students who say they were targeted as part of a process they now see as grooming behavior. Also, we'll share how this family is using their experience to push for change to protect all Kansas kids.